In this video, I started out with $0, a lawnmower, and a truck, and now I have the challenge of building a profitable landscaping business from scratch. But there's a twist. I only have a year to do it. This is season 2, so will I make it big or will I go broke? Stay tuned to find out. And if you guys enjoy content like this and you want to see more, be sure to subscribe and drop on a like helps too. Anyway, let's go build a business. Well, boys, it's another day back out here trying to build a landscaping business from $0 and a truck, and we have a problem. I have way too much dang equipment around here, but hopefully we're going to be taking care of some of that today, along with working on my new property just down there. So when we bought that property a couple days ago, I got a couple things with it. One of those things being the semi, as well as this dozer and this seeder. Now, I had a mechanic come out and get the dozer and semi all back together and running right. So the dozer's working great now, and the semi works and runs now. However, I don't really have a use for a semi at the moment. You know, it'd be great to have, but it's just too big for our current operations, so I decided I was going to sell it. And as it turns out, the mechanic who fixed this semi has a buddy who is interested in it who's going to come take a look at it today, and I'm hoping for about $20,000 out of this thing. It's a high mileage truck, but it still runs and drives, and that's all that matters. I also put the seeder up for sale a couple days ago. If it didn't sell, I was just going to put it up for auction, but I had an offer come in on it, $2,500, so that's sold as well. But a few other things money-wise. My one lawn care trailer is currently rented out again for another 2 days, so that's an extra $200 in our bank account. However, I did have $10,000 come out for expenses when the mechanic came out and fixed the dozer and a couple other things on the semi. So while we're not broke, we're also not rich at the moment. All right, it's been a little bit here. Got the local farmer coming to pick up the cedar, so I'll get a little bit of money from that. And then the mechanic's buddy is just checking out the semi right now. Hopefully he takes it because I want it out of my shop ASAP. Well, it took a little bit, but with the sale of the cedar, we got $2,500, and with the sale of the semi, we got $20,000. So that brings us up to $95,000. Can't complain about that. I'm feeling a little bit better with less equipment in the yard and more money in my bank account. Anyway, with all that out of the way, I think it's time we go work on this new property. However, we are going to need a few things. Now, although it's not a very far drive from here, to get everything over to the property, I'm just going to toss it on the trailer. It makes things a little bit easier. I don't want to be running this excavator at a whole 6 miles an hour trying to get it over there. All right, there we go. Everything's loaded up. Let's get the heck out of here. I haven't really towed too much with this GMC here, so I guess this is kind of its maiden towing voyage. Not doing too bad, but even with the bags in the back, this thing is still squatting just a little bit. Well, here we are. So much space, so many opportunities. But my main goal for today is to get all of this bush cleared out, but mainly just the big trees for now. The reason I'm doing that is because the new house I want to build here, or specifically the barn dominium I want to build, I want it to be right on the river, and through these trees is a river right there. So before we get to building, we got a lot of clearing to do. All right, tree number 1, timber. Well, I don't know how I made it back here, but somehow I'm back here and I'm surrounded by bushes. I really need a mulcher to get back here, but I guess I'll just have to work with what we got for now. I don't even know if this tree is going to fall over, actually, with all this brush in here. Yep, I was right. It's not going to. I can do a little bit of work here and there with the chainsaw, but that's only going to do so much. I'm trying to clear a path at the moment for this next tree here. I'm not going to cut down too many before I actually get some of these cleared out. We're just going to try go a few at a time. Well, I think with this tree down, we should have enough to try do a load. I would just get a mulcher for this skid steer, but I don't think it's going to be able to handle one. It just will not have enough hydraulic power. The only thing I could get would be for the excavator, but what's going to be able to actually work on there is going to be super small and just super inefficient. I mean, more efficient than a chainsaw, I suppose, but you get the idea. Now, if you couldn't tell, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to cut these trees enough so we can load them up on a trailer and get them sold, because there's a lot of money in that at the moment. And considering I have an $80,000 loan out on this property and a lot more equipment to buy, I'm gonna need all the money I can get. Well, I think I got a good portion of this tree cut up enough to where I can actually load it on the trailer. I guess I gotta unload the John Deere here first. The good thing is, with this new trailer, I should be able to haul a lot more logs than I could before. Well, it took a little bit, but that is just one tree right there, and that's not even all of it. I've still got the main trunk piece at the moment here I gotta go grab. I don't know if the Massey Ferguson is gonna be able to lift it, though. Well, would you look at that? It can actually lift it. That's surprising. I know I've lifted some big tree trunks before, but this is actually impressive. Now I just gotta get it on the trailer. Oh boy, this is easier said than done. Oh man, this is not good. Well, we're halfway there. Come on, don't slip off. Man, this is being a real pain. There you go. Come on, stay on there. Dang, don't roll off the other side. No, no. Okay, we might be a little bit screwed here. Okay, it's on there. Let's get this to the lumber yard. Man, if one tree fills this all up, I'm gonna be doing this for a while, that's for sure. All right, back at the lumber yard. Big money, big money. That's what we're hoping for. And, oh, 5,716 bucks. Puts us up over $100,000 again. And it's gonna be a good day, especially if we keep having loads like that. I've been back here out on the property for a little while, just trying to work clear some of this brush so I can get to these trees. And I realized I'm just wasting time here. If I want to actually get this done and the plethora of other projects I'm gonna have once I get this land cleared and I can start building, I'm gonna need to get some equipment. I should specify some proper equipment. Now, could I rent said equipment? Absolutely. However, in the long run, that's gonna cost me a ton of money. But to build this new house, I'm gonna need about $100,000. But screw building the house. I made a call and we're gonna go pick up a new to me piece of equipment. I went into the equipment store with a ton of money and I've left the equipment store with only $1,085 because I have purchased a metric ton of equipment. Well, actually, only one piece of equipment, mostly just a ton of attachments. All right, just made it back to the compound here. Let me show you guys what I have bought in here. So I spent about $100,000 at my local equipment dealer. Basically, I did a massive package deal with the John Deere 334P and a ton of attachments. Only 2 of these attachments are brand new. This bucket and these forks. Everything else is used. But we got ourselves a Harley rake, a log grapple, and a big old mulcher. Now, was this a smart idea? Absolutely not. Should have kept my $100,000 in my bank account. However, if I want to move this project along at a decent pace, this was necessary. Does that mean I'm going to get rid of the Massey Ferguson that's sitting over there? Not entirely sure just yet. Probably going to wait on that. But with snow approaching in the next couple of months, I'm going to need something like this for snow removal. But I guess we'll see how that works. Anyway, I got to get a couple attachments off the trailer so I can actually get to moving some logs. We're not going to need the bucket, not going to need the forks or the Harley rake, just the mulcher and the grapple. I should specify that this skid steer is very used. New, they cost just over $100,000, maybe a little bit more, can't remember off the top of my head, but I got this one for a steal of a deal. It has a decent amount of hours on it, but that's just fine by me. It is also tinted out, which is kind of nice. I've actually been eyeing up this machine for quite a while now. It's been just sitting at the local equipment dealer, just calling my name, so I don't know. I felt it was time. And if we ever need to add some more weight to this thing, I can go to the dealership and buy some more weight boxes, but for now, we're plenty good. I hope at least. I don't know. Got some tools switched around. I think we're ready to go. Now, the $1 million question. I guess I should say the $100,000 question. Is this skid steer going to be worth it? I sure as heck hope so. Now, the plan. Basically, I just want to clear out all the extra brush and shrubbery here so I can actually get to the trees. Because currently, I got to do a ton of work with the chainsaw just to try and cut them down so they can actually fall down properly. Oh, yeah. Now we're talking. This is what was needed. It just took that tree down like it was nothing. So obviously, this mulcher is going to tear up some of the ground, but that's pretty fine, I think. I'll most likely be replanting a lot of this grass back here, especially since it is pretty forested in area. The grass back here is not the greatest. Check it out, it's the river. We can actually see it now. Oh man, that looks great down there. So long as we can actually get this all cleaned out, this is gonna be some prime real estate, that's for sure. However, doing that is a little easier said than done, although this mulcher is working really well. All right, so I've been cleaning out pretty much just right next to the river. I'm kind of stuck at the moment. Come on. It's pretty soft down here, so this John Deere is struggling just a little bit. Hopefully I can back out of here. Yep, there we go. Okay. Anyway, I've made some serious progress here, which is nice. Still got a ton of brush to clean out at the front here, but it's actually starting to look pretty dang good. And I'm almost wondering if I should leave some of these trees, but I'm probably not going to. Most likely, if I want to have some more trees, I'll just plant some once the house is done, just because these aren't particularly the trees I'd like to have on the property. They do drop a ton of leaves, and they are a pain in the butt to trim. So I think we're just going to cut them down. Besides, we make really good money when we cut down trees anyway, so we're probably going to do that, and I need the money. Someone had also suggested subdividing up this property so I could put multiple homes on it. Technically, I could do that, but with the access road that's there, and I think the subdividing laws out here, don't think I could really do that. Well, this side's all done now. Just got one more side left. And it is crazy how much different this place looks with a lot of the brush cleared out. Should be the perfect spot for a house, I hope. Because then, if it's not, I did all this clearing out for nothing. Well, that is about it. Unfortunately, mulching trees is not terribly interesting. But now that it's all done, hopefully I can actually cut up some of these trees and get them on a trailer. Which is also a little easier said than done. But now, I have a pretty sweet log grapple that should make it a little bit easier. I could use it with the Massey Ferguson, but probably going to use the John Deere. And this thing is filthy. All right, time to test this thing out. Well, this is a pretty big log here. I highly doubt I'm going to be able to lift it, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. Yep, not a chance. Oh, maybe. Maybe. Okay, not really. really. I can push it. Can't really lift it the best, though. I need some weight on the back of this thing if I really want to lift. That Massey Ferguson, though, that is a ton of weight on the back. That thing will be able to lift just about any log you throw at it. One tree down, few more to go. Well, maybe a lot more than a few. Well, I think that's probably enough for this load. Hopefully recoup some of our investment here. All right, let's see what we got here. $10,705. Pretty dang good, actually. All right, last tree coming down here. There we go. And right on. Okay, thank goodness, not right onto the trailer. I should have been paying more attention there. Now I just got to delimb them all and cut them up into reasonable sized pieces to load onto the trailer there, but I should actually check what wood is going for. Ooh, we're at dang near bottom of the market, but it does look like the wood price is the highest where we're selling it, so I guess that's good enough for me. Well, I've got one tree on this trailer and a bit of this one, but I don't think I'm really going to be able to fit any more on here without attracting some DOT officers, so we're just going to haul this in and call it good. That one tree sticking up there might be a problem, but we're just going to ignore it. This new trailer in GMC, though, has been working wonders. I can haul wood so much faster over to the sawmill. That is another $7,078. Just shy under 20 grand. After I'm done cleaning out these trees, I'm gonna have to get back to work on doing some jobs because I'm gonna need a lot more cash to buy that house, or buy the stuff that I need to build it, I guess. So I have been considering actually tossing this property up for sale, probably about $150,000. It's not that big of a property and it doesn't have like a crazy nice house on it. That's why it would be so much lower compared to the other property that we sold not that long ago. But I don't know. It would be nice to finish this place and have a way bigger house and maybe a bigger shop, especially now that we're getting more equipment. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Unfortunately, with cutting up trees like this, there's no easy way to actually do something like this. Actually, I lied. There is an easy way, which just consists of using the mulcher. However, then I wouldn't really get that much money for all these trees, so I guess the long and tedious way it is. Got ourselves another load here. Still definitely not loaded right, but we've only got 3 more trees left, which is actually not too bad. We are making some good time on this, but the new skid steer is definitely helping out a lot. Big load here, and we got $8,697. That's actually not as good as I thought we were going to get from that. Wood prices are not going in my favor today. So I've just been doing some quick math here between the $10,000 in gravel we're going to need for the driveway, the $20,000 in landscaping supplies we're going to need, and let's say another 10 grand in miscellaneous plus $100,000 for the house. We're going to be at about $140,000. And that's not even including if I decide to put down a shop, which could be about another $40,000 to $50,000. So if we round that all together and round up a good bit, we're sitting at about $200,000 to $180,000 that we're going to need to complete this property. And we only currently have $27,000, not ideal. So this trailer I've got loaded pretty haphazardly at the moment here, and that's because the more time I spend cutting up these trees so they fit way better on the trailer, whereas if I put them on the trailer like this, I could have already went and got another tree and taken it over to the sawmill. So I can fit less trees and it takes me less time to load them. I'll take that trade-off. Let's see what we get here. $5,417. We're getting there, slowly but surely. All right, well, we've got 2 trees left here, but it's starting to get pretty late in the day here, so I'm probably gonna call it quits. However, after we get these trees out of here, there's not a whole lot I can do until I start having more money. I guess I could come in here with a dozer and kind of flatten this all out, do a little bit of landscaping, but we're gonna need a lot of money for the driveway, and I don't want to do that until the house is built. But for that, we're at least gonna need $100,000. But for the time being, I'm gonna try get as many jobs as I can booked. I know I've got a couple that I've been putting off just so I can get this property cleared, even though it's probably not a good idea, but we're gonna make it work at any rate. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed. Subscribe, and goodbye.